We are 17 days away from WWE Clash in Paris, and in today's video, I want to predict the card. I want to know that within 17 days, if my predictions are correct, because the card is starting to shape up. Now, we're not 100% sure if these are going to be all of the matches, if they're going to add on any more, or if this is the final card. And I have the matches here for you guys that we currently have. We have John Cena versus Logan Paul, CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus LA Knight versus Jey Uso, Naomi versus Stephanie Vaquer, which is in limbo right now. We also have Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed, Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch. Now, obviously, this card is subject to change. Now, in today's video, like I said, I want to go ahead and predict this. So, without further ado, my name's Billy TKO. If you guys are new here, definitely like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let's just hop into it. So let's kick things off with one match that we know is for certain, and that is John Cena versus Logan Paul. Now, we are on the tail end of John Cena's final run in WWE. It is coming to a close as the fall months come. December is right around the corner, and it looks like John Cena is going to be gone. Now, we know that he wants to work with younger talent. I think he's made that somewhat clear himself, and we are getting him versus Logan Paul at Clash in Paris. Now, this match I could see being really good, even though there hasn't been like this crazy build to it. We just know that Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre were in a tag team, and then Cody Rhodes and John Cena stood next to one another on SmackDown last week, and they stood tall over Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre. So my guess here is that they're going to go ahead and give John Cena this victory, but I think the takeaway here is that Logan Paul is doing a lot of crazy things in the WWE. He's wrestled Cody Rhodes. He's wrestled Roman Reigns. He's wrestling John Cena. He's wrestled some of the biggest stars in WWE. He was a part of the Elimination Chamber match. He was in the Royal Rumbles. He's had some crazy spots. So obviously WWE is very high on Logan Paul, and that's the reason why they're putting him in this position. I think John Cena is going to be a very easy work with. They've already worked together once. They were a tag team at Money in the Bank where they took on, I want to say it was Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. I could be wrong, but I want to say that's correct. Yes, it was. It was Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. So my guess here is that John Cena picks up the victory and takes it away. Go ahead. I'm going to put a little check here. We're going to go John Cena on this one. So next we have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus LA Knight versus Jey Uso for the world title. Now, Jey Uso in this is very interesting because Jey Uso, while he is obviously a very important role in this world title scene, I do think that Roman Reigns had a little bit more of a reason to be a part of this match, but that's just me. And now we're getting LA Knight added into this mix as well. LA Knight is obviously right now on Monday Night Raw doing some awesome things. I'm a huge LA Knight fan. I actually was rooting for LA Knight to win the Money in the Bank. I've been rooting for that for many years because I feel like WWE just hasn't necessarily pulled the trigger on LA Knight. Obviously, the guy's legitimately what he says he is, a megastar. The WWE Universe, they love him. It would be a complete miss to not add LA Knight to this match. Now, the problem here is that LA Knight continuously loses in these big matches. So, again, this feels like another way that they're just going to kind of diminish what LA Knight is doing. Whether he takes the pin or not, just him being a part of the loss kind of sucks. Obviously, the two main characters in this are CM Punk and Seth Rollins. As you guys know, CM Punk won the world title at SummerSlam, was cashed in on by Seth Rollins. They called it the ruse of the century. I do think due to shenanigans, I think Seth Rollins is going to pick up the victory here. I think Jey Uso actually is going to be the one to take the pinfall. I think comfortably they could have Jey take the pinfall. So yeah, if it were up to me, I definitely think they're not going to just take the title away from Seth Rollins right at this moment. So I think this one is very predictable, if you want me to be honest. So we'll put a little check mark there for Seth Rollins. Next, we have Naomi and Stephanie Vaquer. Now, this match is one that is currently in limbo. Naomi was taken off TV, and there has still been no announcement at the time of this recording, which I'm recording this on August 14th. There's been no answer to what Naomi currently was pulled off TV for. Now, her and Jimmy Uso are going to be on Stephanie McMahon's podcast today. So again, August 14th. And many people believe that she could announce her pregnancy Whether that is true or not, we don't know, so we're not going to speculate or guess on that. We are going to book this in the way that she is still going to be there, because obviously there has been no relinquishment just yet. Ultimately, I think Naomi picks up the victory. I think Naomi is the person that WWE wants to hold the title for a little while. Stephanie Vakir gets a good look in this match. This one is very easy. They've done some stuff backstage. Stephanie has just kind of hinted at she wants the title, right? So if we are going based off what is currently happening right at this very moment, again, card is always subject to change, I would take Naomi here. So we'll put the check, a little asterisk. We'll put an asterisk next to it. The next match that we have following that up is Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Now, this one to me is very interesting. For the longest time, Cody Rhodes has kind of been surrounded by that bloodline faction, and he's been surrounded and kind of stuck in that vortex. So his first title run, we never really got to see what it would look like, him going out and facing some of those great opponents like Drew McIntyre. Now, I think Cody Rhodes picks up the victory here, but I think you can see a continuous feud later throughout the fall months between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has done some of the best work. In fact, if you guys go back to one of my first videos when I started doing wrestling YouTube, I actually made a video where I talked about Drew McIntyre and the most logical heel turn of all time, which at the time it was, and it still is. And he's done some of the best work as the bad guy, Drew McIntyre. It's great. I love to see it, but ultimately, because of how early on, again, very predictable, I do think that Cody Rhodes picks up the victory. So we're going to put the check there. Next, we have Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed, the Tribal Thief versus the Tribal Chief. Give me Roman. Every time, give me Roman. Obviously, Bronson Reed, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Jey Uso, they've all kind of been in this little feud, but it's been so funny because Bronson Reed, every time he's beat up Roman Reigns, he stole his Jordans, and I find it to be hilarious, if you want me to be honest with you, because I just think it's hilarious. And then they're calling him the Tribal Thief, and then he's walking out with the shoes on his neck like the Ula Fala. He's walking around with these Jordans on his neck. And by the way, these are not cheap Jordans. Now, Roman Reigns, if I'm not mistaken, is sponsored by Jordan. So, I mean, obviously this guy can get any pair he wants. But I think to really play into the storyline, it would be very funny if they had him walk out in some sandals. I think it would be hilarious. But yes, we are getting Roman Reigns versus Bronson Reed. I do think Roman picks up the victory. Obviously, very, very important that Bronson Reed gets a really good showing in this match. I would like to see it. I really would. I think Bronson Reed is a star in the making in WWE. Obviously, you guys know that he was released from the company a long time ago, then brought back. And ever since he's been brought back, he has been on a dominant run. There was a little injury that took him out for a few months, so that kind of put a stale, what's the word that I'm looking for? It put like a stale implication on Bronson Reed because we weren't 100% sure how it was going to look for him. But ultimately, I do take Roman in this match. Roman is going to go out, and if I'm not mistaken, he's going to film the new Street Fighter movie alongside Cody Rhodes as well in the month of September. So they'll be off TV for a little while. So it'll be interesting how WWE holds up with that too. The last match that we have here, we have Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch. This would obviously be for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. This would be very interesting considering the fact that this feud, many people were like, I don't know. And then they cut the promo together, and it was amazing. And they just kind of went toe-to-toe at one another, kind of sending the shots like, oh, look at you and look at you. So if I had to guess, if I had to make my prediction and make it thoroughly, I do think that Becky Lynch obviously would pick up the victory, but I think Nikki Bella, you could make an argument, could win this match, and people would be okay with it. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and put a checklist, or a check mark, next to Becky Lynch, because I do believe that Becky is the right person to win this match. I'm just being honest. Now, guys, this is taking place in Lyon, France. Now, if you guys know anything about Lyon, France, or just Paris in general, they did have a pay-per-view Backlash a couple years ago, and they have said it is the best crowd. It is the greatest crowd. We got to witness it on TV. If you're to ask me, I definitely think it's between that and Puerto Rico that those two, hands down, take the cake, best crowds in wrestling history. So this show is going to be a lot of fun to watch, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm here to get your guys' predictions. What do you guys think is going to happen at Clash in Paris? Because I've given mine, but ultimately, it's up to you guys. So you guys can let me know everything down in the comments section below, and you guys make sure to give me your hot takes on this, man. Give me your thoughts on my predictions. Do it all. Ultimately, again, if you guys are new, definitely like and subscribe to the channel. Those are the two most important things. Also, for as low as $1.99, you guys can get some awesome perks down below and become a member of the channel, man. I definitely am going to promote that a lot more here. Become a member. Get some of these awesome perks. We're going to continue building everything here on the YouTube channel. So, guys, that's all I have for you today. I'll be talking to you later. I've yapped enough. Peace.